This clip is sponsored by Med Travelers. If you're an SLP interested in travel therapy, visit medtravelers.com to get started. Next myth. Learning more than one language may be too confusing to children and lead to a language delay, decreased cognitive abilities, or academic problems.
So, one thing I think we have to recognize is that bilingualism and multilingualism is so normal across the world. It's just seen as something different here in the US. So, in the US, we haven't come to a point where we really value bilingualism. Um, and I think what that leads to is these lower expectations and worse outcomes. So, it's not true that learning two languages would be confusing or lead to more problems. Of course, for kids who do have language impairments or cognitive impairments, it will be challenging, no doubt, but it's not the cause of those delays or deficits.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important distinction of what you just said, because that is sometimes what I think, even from parents I've spoken to, where they think, well, if I am using two, then it's going to cause them to speak later or have difficulties in both. And you're absolutely right. It's not the cause. I think it's easy to look at a child who may be learning more than one language that perhaps is taking a little bit longer because their brain is trying to learn two
Hmm.
languages, but that's not a cause, or is it a long-term delay? Is that
Right.
accurate?
Yep, that's right. And I think I
Okay.
explain that a lot to parents and educators all the time, right? When we're looking at
Hmm.
bilingual evaluations, especially in the schools, like why? Why am I here? Well, I explain like the school cannot just conduct this evaluation in English because they might find that your child has an impairment. But if your child's dominant language or preferred language or stronger language is Spanish, I need to make sure that this impairment also exists in Spanish because otherwise they're going to over-identify. So I kind of educate about what does that mean and how do we not under-identify but also not over-identify students.